So, we're talking about two movies in this one, both of the Hitchcockian variety of the thriller. First, let's talk about Leave the World Behind, which is coming on Netflix this weekend. Doomsday scenarios have been a hot topic since the pandemic, and Leave the World Behind gives us all new unforeseen events to worry about. Based on the 2020 book by Ruman Alam, which absolutely came out at just the right time, this movie, if nothing else, really captures the uncertainty of the times we now live. It's a film that comes from Sam Esmail, creator of the TV series Mr. Robot, and it deals with things that are right up his alley: cyber hacking, the end of the world, paranoia, and secret meddling by unknown groups. It also comes with an all-star cast of Julia Roberts, Mahershala Ali, Ethan Hawke, and Kevin Bacon. Esmail unleashes his inner Hitchcock, telling a story of Amanda and Clay, played by Roberts and Hawke, two parents who decide to pack up their two kids and head to the Hamptons Airbnb for some R&R. What they get is anything but. First, a very large oil tanker winds up colliding and washing ashore on the beach. Then the forest animals start acting nuts. Then not only does all electricity stop working, but so too does the internet. The doomsday cultists begin stocking up. Supposedly Manhattan is a mess, and the family is stuck with no news. Then around midnight, a knock comes at the door. It's a man named G.H., and he's played by Ali, accompanied by his daughter, played by Mila Harold. He claims to be the owner of the place they're staying in, and with all that's going on, he'd like to be home, offering the family share the place 50-50 till things calm down. It's interesting to see America's sweetheart Roberts go full Karen in this situation, thinking that these two must be frauds. For reasons anyone could figure out, she doesn't believe they really own the place, that they must be up to something, or that they could be the help. That GH may even rape her daughter in the middle of the night. GH's daughter Ruth doesn't really trust the white people either, and so there is sort of a prickly alliance at play. But there are also bigger things at stake. Weird occurrences continue to happen. One of the best in the film has the characters being bombarded with self-driving Teslas. Esmail keeps things relatively ominous and tense, very good at capturing how the best way to knock society out of whack is to throw in one bewildering piece of confusion after another. Also, credit the fantastic musical score from Matt Quayle, whose strumming guitar and orchestral dread set the heart racing. Some may think not much happens in this movie, and those who hate open-ended endings are going to be pissed. But those who seek thought-provoking lessons of pandemic life will find a lot to chew on here, and the character interactions work a lot better than they don't because of that reason. Certainly, these troubling times have put us on edge thinking about corrupt and powerful forces at work, or about who we can trust and be close with, or with worries about our own kids, or with our own discontent in our lives, or in humanity's failure at feeling obligated to each other. A lot of this did interest me, mostly because it hit close to home at things we've been made to consider over the last several years. And the cast is very good, dealing with feelings of being overwhelmed, distrustful, anxiety riddled, and more prone to being self reflective. We also get to see Roberts and Ali dance to the song Too Close, which is a welcome respite. Esmail puts the emphasis on that as well, especially in terms of wanting to watch old television, which is something that I've actually been doing a lot of recently too. Sometimes you just want to focus on an idealized version of a time that didn't seem so shitty. Now, the dark tone of this movie works pretty well, and there are some very creepy moments. But this is not a big action-packed thriller. It's more talky, so those who are looking for the bigger thriller may want to look elsewhere. But like I said, this movie does hit close to home. It does make us think about things, and it does help in constituting some of our more paranoid and on-edge feelings over the past couple years. Probably more so than other like doomsday thrillers that we've seen recently. I don't think it's a great film. I think that it does have some issues as far as character development and things of that nature, but it did engage me as far as the ideas go. So in that, I guess it's a B minus, guys. Now, our next movie is called Eileen, and it basically feels like two movies. One is more interesting and well developed than the other, which is almost an afterthought and not very believable at all. Unfortunately, the bad one is also the thriller part, which I believe this movie is trying to be. For all the efforts of the two lead actresses, this movie never really comes together. The title character is played by Thomasin McKenzie from Edgar Wright's Last Night in Soho. Eileen seems as though a hormonal teenager at first, but she's actually just an unwed woman in the 1960s Massachusetts, made to work a shitty job at a boys' prison and then come home and take care of her alcoholic father, who's played by Shea Wingham. It's hard to tell which one makes her more miserable and resentful. At least at work, she can fantasize about sex with the male guards or the prisoners. At home, her father is nothing but insults about the way she smells, does things, and is. He believes her a doormat who will never be loved and always taken for granted. That's when he's not incoherent from drinking. She's every bit as trapped in her situation as the boys in prison, which makes it all the more wonderful to meet Rebecca St. John, played by Anne Hathaway. She's a Harvard educated psychologist new to the prison, confident and well put together. For Eileen, we can tell immediately she wants to learn from this woman. Hathaway's made to look every bit like a shining diamond caught in a turd shop. She's a glamorous blonde surrounded by unappealingly drab people, but she sees something in Eileen and invites her out to drinks with her. At the bar, the two seem to have only eyes for each other. If Rebecca didn't look like the picture of class and independence before, she does here. Now, this is the 60s, remember. Rebecca gets Eileen out on the dance floor. The two get very close, even make out. Eileen is totally under her spell. And Mackenzie and Hathaway create something here that is memorably spellbinding. The dynamic between the two women suggests a sensationalistic relationship for the 60s, or something that could end in Mackenzie crossing a line, as in Saltburn or Talented Mr. Ripley, a chance to break free from her mousy persona and delve into an infatuation of her own. But I don't want to give too much away, but the movie then really shifts gears in a bad way. Rebecca does something that seems extremely out of character for her, and then Eileen just suddenly becomes something that, up until this point, she isn't. Now, this is based off a novel by Otessa Moshfegh, and with that, maybe there is some deeper psychological context that would suggest an ending like this makes sense. I just think that part gets lost in translation to film. Eileen is interesting and even lurid for a while, thanks to the two terrific performances, but by the end, I just couldn't really buy what I was seeing on screen. That's why I can't go any higher than a C, guys. But that is my opinions. I'd love to hear yours. Let me know down below there. Also, if you could, click that like button, click that subscribe button, and I hope to see you back next time. I thank you so much for watching, and I hope you come back again. Bye bye.